Welcome traders, back with another video. This is Trading Secrets with EJ. So in this video, what I'm going to be going over is the pivot point standard. This pivot point standard is a very good tool. You can find some good success from it, and this tool will help you in a lot of situations where if you have an issue with finding proper support and resistance, or at least strong support and resistance. So we're going to go ahead and get into this tool. So pivot point standard. All right, there you go. Pivot point standard. So when you first open the indicator, it's going to have all of these plot points of different pivot points and also support and resistance areas that the market has created. So what we are going to go to do is go into the settings, look for your inputs. What I like to do is change the number of pivot points back and leave it down to 1. That way I know what I'm looking at go as far as pivot points and also support and resistance. The P stands for the pivot. The S1 and R1 are your first support and first resistance. Your second support, second resistance, third support, third resistance, so on and so forth. What I like to do is take off all of these because it becomes irrelevant to me. I don't really need all of those. And I also like to change the color to more easier color for me to see, which I choose black. That makes it easier for me to see. Not everybody else likes that, but that's okay. You can choose to use it however you want it. Now, with these, your first support, first resistance, a lot of the times in the market, what happens is that your support, your R1 and S1 are the strongest support and pivot points. Usually, a lot of times you want to go ahead and, find those key areas. So in this key area is 1, and I'm on USD CAD, is 1.6, 1.365. The other one is 1.37200, and then you have your resistance at 1.382. So this is your whole zone if you choose to use the style. So I will go ahead and mark it off. Your horizontal box. You know that there's something here for stronger support, and also something here that's blocking you there, and also you have your pivot. Now let's go ahead and thicken those lines for those pivots. You can also thicken the lines at line width. I like to choose about 3. Between 3 and 4 is usually pretty good. And as you can see, you get a little bit more of a solid line. However you choose to use it, you can take a horizontal line, block it off resistance. I usually try to use a nice box. I am on the H4, so this is what I try to use. And to help guide you a lot better what can possibly happen, I like to take trend lines on top of that. All right, so now you know that this is a possible pivot. And it broke above the pivot point, came to the first resistance, got rejected. And you're also seeing the market go into a descending triangle. So 9 times out of 10, when the market's showing you an angle like this, it's usually going to go up. That's just that simple. So it already broke out. It broke all of these previous levels. That means it's going to start retesting those levels again. And that's pretty much how pivot points works. We can go back in, the previous past if you wanted to test it out on different pairs. So let's see, number back, we can go back 5. Change it back to 5. Now, with that going back to 5, you can see different previous levels that got respected. You had a pivot, came up, bounced off the pivot. Then for the next day, it took that pivot point, went through your first resistance, which is really strong. If it breaks through, 9 times 10 is a really strong move. It breaks through the first resistance or first support. It's a really strong move. It's definitely going to go somewhere. and you can take it and write it up. You have your other pivot point for the next day. You take that, write it down, however you choose to use it. I personally don't use this anymore. Um, that's just how I look at it. It's a great tool if that's something that you guys feel that you need to find those support and resistance areas where you're struggling as a trader. It's just something I don't use because it helps with support and resistance, but it doesn't give you the overall market trend. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to find where you're going. And that's where it's going to be a problem. If you don't know what direction the market overall is going, you're going to struggle with this tool. It just filters out a lot of the noise. That's all it does. So with that being said, this is going to be the end of the video. Like, share, and subscribe, man, if you like the content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.